Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of 3 PlayStyles podcasts. My name is Rudy Blankbrown, and to my left, we've got Ollie Mitchell, and to my right is Ed Stansfield and Harry Thursby. Now, before we delve into any chats, let's just establish who we are. So we're PlayStyles. We are a magazine that prides itself in stitching football and fashion together. We're going to be talking all things kits, shirts, boots, hairstyles, and football fashion off the pitch as well.
First up on the agenda for today is we're all going to be talking a little bit about the football shirts that we've all got on. And I'm going to start off. We are filming this the day after AFC Wimbledon were promoted from League Two via the playoffs.
Knew this was coming, didn't you?
Had they, of course. I've got the bucket hat and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a very lovely day out in Wembley. It's been 9 years since the club was lost at Wembley, so that was very nice. And yeah, this shirt is inspired by Boca Juniors shirt, famous around the world. And we're going to have a little story about Boca Juniors up on our website, playstyles.co.uk, very, very soon. Probably be out when you're watching this. So go give us a check out.
What season's that shirt from, Ollie?
This one is last season. This has Ali El Hamadi on the back.
Oh.
He's Scouse Iraqi. He was at Ipswich. He's been on loan at Stoke. He's been absolutely rubbish since he's left us.
That's the way it goes. Like the Football Manager sponsor.
Yes, it was changed for the first time in a long time. It's always been Sports Interactive. It's currently War Child, which is a charity that is done by Sports Interactive. So it's always been the same company.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Well, Harry, let's hear a bit more about your shirt.
Well, I've got on the it's a 1991 to 93 Napoli home shirt. I was saying earlier that the best thing I can say about this shirt is I was walking past an Italian pizza place and the owner ran out and dapped me up because he saw the well, it's not actually. I thought it was a Maradona shirt. It actually was never worn by Maradona. So
where was this? When did you get? Like, where in the world was this?
Well, where I got it?
Where you got dapped up in?
Oh, it's in Crooks in Sheffield. Oh. Not in Naples. But I just think it's very nice. I'm a big fan of retro Serie A kits, and
they're unmatched. They're unmatched.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was sort of a go-to. I also got a Lazio shirt at a similar time, but that's probably not one to wear.
You've got a retro in front of you as well.
Yeah, there's another beauty. If you can see that on the camera, I don't know.
Hold it up for him, Harry. Hold it up.
Don't want to be able to put it back. There you go. The Opal sponsor.
Yeah. That was 0405, won by the side that lost in Istanbul to Liverpool in the Champions League final.
How dare you bring that up? But yeah, that's my Napoli shirt. I'm a big fan of Serie A's. So
nice, lovely stuff. And Ed Stansfield,
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
This is a 1999 Manchester City home kit. We wore it in the 3rd tier of English football. Back in the dark days, and we got promoted in this kit. An incredible game at Wembley. City were 2-0 down until the dying moments of the game. Scored 2 to take it to extra time, and then 1 on pens.
Finally, I'm wearing this, I think it's just a Celtic base shirt from this season, but apparently, according to the bloke I bought it off Vinted from, if you can see here,
reliable
it's a
source.
1-of-1 double chin in full flow there. It's got the kneecap logo on the front and on the back as well. Supposed to be a 1-of-1, apparently won by the kneecap DJ Provi, and I think it's just a pretty awesome shirt, long sleeve, which is something that I am very passionate about when it comes to football shirts. I feel as though we should have a few more long sleeve shirts.
Do you prefer a long sleeve?
I do personally. But it doesn't work for all shirts, I would say, but it's one of them. If you can pull it off, then a lot of shirts are made better with a long sleeve as well. But yeah, this Celtic shirt, pretty sure you can just get the base from the Celtic website. I think it's from this season. Whether they wear it on the pitch, I'm not too sure if they do. But yeah, 1-of-1 because it's got this Celtic, this kneecap printing on the front rather. So if we go off the word based off what the Vinted seller said, who claims to be a source based in Belfast, very reputable. Trust me, bro. Anyway, apparently it's a 1-of-1 kneecap Celtic shirt. But that's about it in terms of our shirts. We've got Olivia behind the camera donning a absolutely lovely retro Arsenal kit there as well.
JVC era.
Beautiful kit.
Yeah,
Excellent
it's a
stuff.
nice one.
Retro badge as well, isn't it? With the shield.
Lovely.
96, 97, she says.
96.
Maybe we can whack a photo of that up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Right, okay, so let's delve into the actual ports of call for conversation then. So we have had some hot takes come in from our followers on our Instagram page. If you want to check that out, it is PlayStyles Mag, if I'm not.
It is
PlayStyles Mag.
PlayStyles Mag, there we go. Yeah, I should have just gone with my gut there. But yeah, PlayStyles Mag, we will be putting out more hot take sort of interactive posts. So if you want to be involved in the next episode of the PlayStyles podcast with your hot takes, then do be sure to send them in when the story goes live. But we've got a few to begin with. Ed, do you want to start off with one that we've got?
Okay, so the first one I've got here is that football clubs release too many kits these days.
I mean, this is the mildest hot take.
Yeah.
We're starting off.
Well, we can start with Harry and his shirt because Napoli, the number of shirts they released, 2022-23. I saw the number 36.
I think that was right. Yeah, 36 shirts
but I think,
in one season.
Yeah, but I think I could only see 18 separate designs, so I wonder whether the 36 is like different sponsors or something like
Player
that.
issue or something like that, maybe.
That'll be it, authentic and replica. That would make sense.
Yeah, there's a dual problem with that in that they release that many kits anyway, which is ridiculous. And some of them you got like Halloween kit, Christmas kit. It's just a normal Napoli kit with Rudolph on it. It's like, but then there's also the fact that that's when Maradona died. And they released so many Maradona
and one of them
shirts.
had his face on and stuff like that.
But there's a few with his face on. It's like you kind of just capitalising on the death of a legend there a little bit.
Yeah, so, that was peak capitalism football, wasn't it? Really,
it really was.
I think 36 shirts for a season is definitely utter woke nonsense in the context of football shirts here. I mean, Halloween, it's almost like FIFA, really, isn't it? Just the excess of so many shirts. I mean, 36 is obviously excessive. Do we all have a number in mind as to how many shirts a team should release each season? Like, what is the maximum for you, Ollie?
I think the maximum should be 3. I think the third shirt, if we're going kind of fan orientated, the third shirt, if you want to have it, it should be something special. But I see very little reason why teams shouldn't be able to just have a home and away shirt that fits for every club they play against. I can accept a third shirt. I can absolutely accept a third shirt because I know there are some clubs where it can be a little bit tricky, depending on what league and competition they're in. But I do think the third shirt has to have a bit of meaning to it if you're going to have it. And I don't really subscribe to the idea of teams just wearing the third shirt against teams that they absolutely don't need to wear it against, because it's clear that they're just doing it to try and sell it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of with that third shirt as well. It's an opportunity just to wear. I know it sounds like very simple, but it's an opportunity to wear something different. If teams are limited to 2 shirts per season, then it does sort of put a limitation on how many designs you can have. And while I am in favor of sort of, less shirts, the better, it is nice to have a sort of spruced up design, I suppose, keeping it consistent throughout seasons. I mean, Ed, what about you? What is your sort of maximum number of shirts per season?
There's obviously a maximum, but I don't really see the issue with releasing loads and loads of shirts.
So what is the maximum, though?
Okay.
Because 36 is obsessive.
Yeah,
excessive.
That's a bit insane. Maybe 5 or 6. But like they've got to have good reasons behind them and they've got to look good as well.
That's my thinking. It has to have a reason. It can't just be because we want money.
But all of us, we're all here because we like football shirts, right? So more football shirts. You don't have to buy them as well. They're just more available for you to buy. I think there's.
But they're pushing marketing wise to try and get you to buy it, obviously. But I see your point in that, like, it does give them more chance for creativity to make different shirts throughout a season. But I agree. I think they have to have a point because, like when they did the human race shirts, like that's got a valuable reason to release more than like 3 kits.
Yeah, one way I did quite like a fall shirt was when Wimbledon did it. The based on the Princess Diana. She was a red dress with. Sheep on, I think it was, and it was released a limited edition. There was only a certain number, and all the proceeds went to War Child, the charity.
Yeah,
so that's a nice way of a shirt being available to fans. It was 1 for 1 game, and everything went to charity, and that absolutely fine with.
Yeah, I think it's got to have a valid reason. I think that's the main thing.
I think for me, the rule should be that if you are to release a shirt, you should wear it in at least 1 game competitively in a season. I think that's only fair. I understand like commemorative, like one-off shirts and stuff like that, and even ones that you don't want to wear on the pitch. But I just don't really see the point otherwise. Do you know what I mean? I think psychologically as well, the way in which clubs draw fans in to try and buy all these excessive amounts of shirts that are just getting more and more expensive, I think it does create a kind of dangerous kind of culture surrounding fans into spending so much money on official club merchandise,
especially the price of them.
It's a case of it builds up a stigma of like if you don't buy the shirt, you're not a true fan sort of thing. Like, I know it's blowing it out of proportion a little bit, but it's not a healthy sort of environment to have, between a relationship between the sort of the club and the fans, making loads and loads of shirts, persuading people to buy them, to be a true fan of the club. Do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. But yeah, 36 is definitely excessive.
We can agree all like that's too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I would put a limit on 3, maybe 4 at a push, personally. 4. If there was like an anniversary to celebrate. Yeah.
I would allow a 4th if it's like a final or something like that.
Yeah.
An anniversary.
Do you think teams should have special kits for finals?
Well,
I quite like that actually.
Well, Coventry have always been at Wembley with stripes on. And the 2017-18 shirt was sky blue all the way through, and then for the final it was stripes. And it was quite a cool shirt, but it was only worn once, and the whole season had been done with a different shirt. And then suddenly there's a different one in it. And that feels wrong. And we mentioned this the other day. Teams ending their season and lifting a trophy with the wrong shirt, like wearing the shirt for the next season. I think it was Dortmund.
Is that a little pet peeve?
It is because I just feel like that for continuity's sake, if you've got the photos of the trophy lift and it's a completely different shirt, then it just feels wrong.
Yeah. But that's another example of marketing. It's like just wait till next year.
It's absolutely marketing, because people will want to buy the shirt that they lifted the trophy in.
Yeah, it's taking advantage of it, I think.
I think kind of a similar thing as well is fonts on the back of kits and prints, because City, past like however many years we've been in a quite a few competitions, have had 3 different prints. We've had a cup, a domestic cup print, a Premier League print, and a Champions League print. And I just think that's just daft.
I don't mind clubs having their own print for non-Premier League, because I know they have to do the Premier League font, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of more creativity everywhere else. I quite like Spurs used to have the official font that they use on the logo, Tottenham Hotspur, and that was quite nice. It added to the branding. And it looks nicer than the Premier League kit, I think.
Yeah.
But then there are some teams like the City have done some bad ones. City have done some really bad ones. United hasn't been too bad, I don't think.
No, we're not really one to opt for that sort of custom font. We usually just go with the European or the Premier League one. It's not really.
Yeah, I quite liked. I don't know. I remember Leeds was really bad when they were in the Prem last time. There was EFL Cup and FA Cup, and there was a different font, and it was horrible.
How much money does that cost to produce as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just an excessive amount. Yeah, it is waste. It's plastic as well, isn't it? So it's obviously far from ideal in that regard.
It's a bit harsh on their fans, right?
Yeah, nice. I think in the context of printing as well.
Saying that as a Man United fan.
What does my head in with printing is when, and this might be a bit of a niche one, but I think when on the back of the shirts it's either all in lowercase or like it's just like even if the first letter is lowercase. I think lowercase printing is just does my head.
I think it has to be a very certain type of font for it to work, because I think there is an aesthetic there, but often it just doesn't work. I agree.
Yeah,
was it Liverpool? Liverpool have done it recently.
It rings a bell, yeah.
Possibly.
It's usually a thing over in Germany. Germany love doing the lowercase fonts. I just think it lacks professionalism for me.
Yeah. Speaking of Germany, though, the name underneath the number. Dortmund have done it. Bayern have done it. What do we think to that?
I don't mind it personally. It sort of reminds me of like when you were younger and you had the sort of the back of your sort of local team who you're playing for, underneath your number and stuff.
But it depends what they have on the top though. Some of them have had sponsors on the back instead of where the lettering would be, which is like
in Mexico that's what they do.
Yeah, but if it just says like Borussia Dortmund number name, I think that's fair enough.
Makes the team at the top rather than the player, which is quite cool. To be fair,
metaphorical.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Isn't that nice?
Right. Well, shall we stamp out that hot take then? Then I think it's pretty clear that we all agree that clubs are releasing far too many shirts per season. Ed Stansfield.
Ed's 50-50.
Yeah, Ed's 50-50.
Yeah.
Five or six. To me, that's a bit excessive.
I can see the pros, is all I'm saying. Because in 20 years, 30 years, when we're all looking back at kits that we own, we can be like, oh, that's a limited edition kit from this season. So. This happened in this kit. There's like...
Or nothing happened in this kit.
Or nothing happened in this kit. There's a lot of stories behind it. And I think just more kits, more designs, the better, personally. But then again, there is like way too many. Like 36 from Napoli.
Yeah.
It's just,
obscene.
That's insane. Let's go for collars are always better on football kits. Always. This person has capitalized always.
We're saying this with 3 of us with polo style collars.
Yeah.
I'm someone that loves them. I'm not sure about this kind of 50-50.
I don't
It
like
kind of
that,
has
I'll be honest.
it's not. It doesn't even have a button. It just kind of pretends to have one, which I'm not a fan of.
That's
but
ridiculous.
when will the camera go to the wide shot? There's a Wimbledon shirt with a collar, which is actually quite similar to this, but it has an actual button and it has the polo, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
I've always much preferred collars. I've always been quite. I think there's a lot of people that don't like them. I don't know if it's how it feels or something like that, but I'm just a massive fan of them. I'll be honest.
I think not always. It depends on the shirt. I think a lot of the modern shirts will just put a collar on because it's like, oh, it's retro, but sometimes it doesn't suit the kit.
Yeah, I can see that.
If it's like a very modern kit and they've just shoved a collar on it, it's a bit naff to me. But I'd say overall they do look better.
I'd say I know what you mean in terms of just plonking a collar onto a kit and hoping for the best. You know, Man United did that in 22-23, and a lot of people loved that kit, but I just did think that the collar didn't necessarily have to be there. It was sort of forced onto the kit
that's kind
a little bit. I mean, the execution wasn't terrible. It was a pretty nice kit.
I know the one you mean.
But it was just, I think collars. It's a bit. For me, they make them more professional looking. I would say there's a smarter outlook, more similar to a more conventional shirt, as it were. And of course, being an Eric Cantona enthusiast, I can't really deny the impact of collars on football shirts. But I'm a bit 50-50 again. It depends entirely on the shirt. So in terms of the context of that hot take, I would say not always, but I do appreciate a good collar on a shirt.
I do like a modern shirt that doesn't have a collar though. I just feel like there's just something about it. It just looks better.
Yeah.
And like you said about like forcing the collar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just don't put one on if you don't have to. It looks just as good, I think, personally. But then if we're talking old kits, collars are just beautiful.
I love the one you've got on. The collar adds so much to it.
That's a great example of a collar.
Yeah.
I
think without the collar, the like burgundy isn't quite as powerful as a kind of motif in it.
Yeah.
I think it's very nice.
And our kits from this season, I should have brought the other two. They all have the collars and they all have great kind of colour schemes and little patterns on them.
But there's nothing like Kappa with collars.
Absolutely.
The sleeves as well are just gorgeous.
Yeah. Just seamless with the logo, sort of dotted all up the sleeve and then onto the collar as well. I mean, I do like as well, specifically with collars like that, you've got that space there just above the chest to do something with it, whether it's like a change of colour or you've got the MCFC there. It's just, it adds a nice sort of touch, there's a bit of extra room for creativity, I suppose, to elevate the kit into something a little bit more, stunning, I guess. But
completely.
Yeah, retro shirts and collars are kind of synonymous, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, we all seem to agree though that it's most of the time the better, but not always.
Depends what style you're going for.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Should we do one more quick one that I think is quite interesting?
Yeah, go for it.
So we just got long socks are better than short socks.
Again, if we bring in the woke football conversation here, short socks have sort of come under a lot of scrutiny in recent years. I mean, it's come with the shin pad sort of sensation, I would say.
The holes in the back of the socks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of there's some players, ones that you would associate being the sort of modern player also have their socks as high up as possible. In Cole Palmer, you can't see his legs at all. And
he's an outlier.
He's one of a kind, isn't he? He's something else. What? Nice. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, short socks. Again, there's the professionalism kind of side of things. If you've got the shorter socks, and it's almost like you're not wearing the uniform correctly. And I know I sound like I'm being a real sort of stickler for the rules.
Like a prefect.
Like a prefect. But
uniform on.
But it's just I don't know. There's something about the short socks. It does look a bit messy, a bit unfinished when they're also like crumpled up at the bottom. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan aesthetically now.
It's interesting to note that when players are in training and they don't have to wear actual socks, they all just wear short Nike socks.
Yeah.
Players prefer to have the short socks.
What about when you play yourself? I mean,
that's what I was going to say. When I play, I'd wear the short socks because it's like, it's just easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're part of a team, I guess if it's the kit, that's what you wear, you know.
I feel like if you're rocking up to 5-a-side in football socks, though, you're going to get kicked a little bit. But in terms of if you're playing an 11s game, I mean, I understand why you'd want to wear longer socks for that, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, while we're on the topic of socks, I mean, it's another hot take at the moment. They're cutting holes into the back of them. I mean, what do we think of that?
Well, I think if it's what makes them feel more comfortable, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah.
I think people deep it a bit too much. It's meant to be for circulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it helps, it helps. It's fair enough.
Edward?
Yeah. I completely agree. If it's performance-based reasons, why not? I remember Philippe Coutinho used to cut holes in the back of his boots.
Oh yeah.
So that's like a whole new level of that.
Yeah, I just think if so many players are doing it because there's something wrong with the socks in terms of circulation, then they should do something about the socks themselves to improve that. Because you shouldn't need to be cutting stuff to make you feel more comfortable, I feel.
Yeah, I have a real problem with the Gain the Edge socks. You know, the other brands are available.
I love the Gain the Edge socks.
I'm not familiar with these.
No, I'm not.
The grip ones.
Oh yeah, like trampoline socks
does it
almost.
help? I don't.
Not like trampoline
they're kind of
socks.
similar. They got the grips on the bottom. Like,
They help you gain a little edge.
Yeah.
But do they? I just think it's placebo.
I don't know. Maybe
like,
maybe
they
turning.
Do
They
they?
definitely do. Yeah.
But I've never found myself like slipping in boots from the sock. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
You should try my Sondicos, mate. They're like water slides.
Yeah,
in
maybe.
there, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I've never found them to help when I've used them. But
I'm a fan. I've got to say, I'm a fan. But maybe it's because my boots are a little bit big.
maybe
yeah.
because they'll be moving about.
Potentially, yeah. Slipping around in there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But let's go back to the long socks versus short socks debate. So I mean, if it just sort of in one word, long or short socks, Ollie?
Medium.
Medium. Fair enough.
Where
Yeah,
you
all right,
just
fair
a
enough.
little fold over. No, but I think there's no need to go crazy long or crazy
Yeah, I
short.
agree. Yeah. I'd actually say the same
I
thing.
do agree.
Yeah.
Crazy long, I think, looks a little bit like beefy, a little bit.
There's something about the crazy long socks that you can associate that with like brutal centre backs. I feel like centre backs will have the socks all the way up to the point where they don't need the circulation. They need to go numb to just chuck themselves into the tackles almost. And there's something retro about the long sock look, but yeah, it is a little bit odd, I have to say, sort of borderline stockings sort of going on there. And as funny as that is, it's it's not the best look sometimes. But then short socks, I don't know, it just looks sad for me, like deflated almost.
Yeah. Medium, I think, is the way to go.
Yeah, so neither long or short socks. Go with medium. We disagree with your hot take entirely.
We go against the fact that it even exists.
Yes, no, there's no such thing.
The premise is wrong. The question. Okay, so now we're going to look at some new releases that have just come out around the world of football, and we're going to each take one that we really like and just talk about it, debate it. Do we like it? Do we not? Who wants to start? Ollie, do you want to go in on this?
The other day, Newcastle released a shirt, and it's going to be the final one with their current badge, which has been around for a couple of decades.
Yeah.
It's got the blue on the badge, and they've gone for it in the design. They've got blue on the collar. They've got blue as kind of the like hem between the sleeve and the rest of the kit. It's the first time they've had blue as actually part of the kit design for a long time. Sometimes they've had a blue sponsor or the
Wonga,
the manufacturer. Yeah. Even 2 years ago, though, they made the whatever betting company it was. They made it blue, but they've actually finally made it part of the kit. I presume because it's their plan on it being the final one with the badge.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I think it's nice. Yeah.
I also they've done something a little bit different. I love a classic Newcastle shirt. They've changed the like between the sleeves. There's like between the stripes. There's like the Northumbria pattern we've discovered.
Yeah.
And I think it works. It looks. It's a very modern shirt.
Yeah. I like the blue. I think it adds a bit to it. Just as a trim, like 'cause if they overdid it, it could be a bit like too far away from a Newcastle kit. But I think they've done it in a good way.
Yeah. And this is one where it couldn't have a collar.
No,
I think
absolutely not.
I think that's where it works.
Spot on. Yeah.
No, I think it's got a lot of stick, that kit, since it got released. But I agree. I think it's a case of my only real sort of huge issue with it is that massive Adidas logo. I mean, if that is sort of accurate to how it's going to be, I'm not a fan with this new-ish sort of Adidas logo.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it just looks too simplistic almost, and it's
the size of it. Because at first it wasn't massive.
Yes.
They brought it. I didn't hate it without the wording. I agree that it's a little bit too simplistic. I didn't hate it, but then making it massive, it's awful.
For me, I think they should just stick with this design.
Good.
I mean, it's
so
just
much better.
It is iconic, really, isn't it? And you can sort of, it does give any kit that sort of retro look to it if they are to bring it back onto one of them. I mean, this, for example, this is supposed to be from this season-ish, but yeah, it's got this design on here, and it does just sort of give it that retro feel that I think a lot of kits do sort of need if they want to champion the sort of club's heritage and identity, I suppose. But yeah.
I do think the sponsor's ugly though on the Newcastle.
Oh, it has. I mean, when was the last one that didn't have an ugly sponsor for Newcastle?
Yeah,
it's such a shame.
But other than that, I think it's okay. I think it's all right. Yeah,
It's decent.
Rudy, do you want to
Me?
talk about your kit, mate?
Okay, so I've gone with this new leaked Barcelona home shirt. They've opted for the long sleeves, it seems. I can imagine there will be a short sleeve one available. It's got sort of pajama-y vibes going for it, and it could have been a Barcelona kit 20 years ago, which should be a good thing, but it just looks, I don't know, there's something lazy about it. Do you know what I mean? It could have just been put together on a template. There is that kind of sort of, early to mid-noughties look about it, which I do appreciate, but it's just, I don't know, there's almost too little and too much going on at the same time. The gradient of the colours, I don't know, it just doesn't really blend very well. There's no flow to it. And then eventually when the Spotify sponsor, as you said, off camera, will be plonked in the middle of the shirt, I just think that will make it even worse as well. I don't think they've done a pretty good job here, despite the fact that it's got all the qualities of what should be a good shirt in my eyes. Long sleeves, retro look, keeping to their sort of traditional standard of the stripes and stuff like that. But for me, it's just not a very nice kit at all. Going off this leaked image, that is. It
looks like they've made a really nice kit and then thought, how can we ruin it?
Yes, yeah.
They've done all the like you said, the gradient. It looks all wonky. Whereas if they just kept it simple, I think that could have been like an all-timer, genuinely.
Yeah. It's one of them that, do you think, because some kits, I think, unless I'm sounding like a right weirdo here, there's some kits that do look better when they're being worn on the pitch than they do, when they're being sort of released, with no one wearing them and stuff like that. So maybe, the odd player in that Barcelona shirt, I can't really think of anyone that can come to mind that will elevate that.
Well, I was going to say, I don't like it. And then I scrolled down and there's a mock-up of Lamine Yamal wearing it.
Oh, okay.
And it looks a lot better. But I still don't think it's good. Like, I think it looks better with the Spotify on it as well, surprisingly.
Really?
This could be like...
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be the only person that says I do quite like it.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen a lot of returns to stripes over the past sort of decade or so. There's always, they've gone with one thing that's slightly different and then they're back to stripes in some sort of way. It was like the horizontal ones. Obviously, it was the sort of centenary half and half this time. But it means they've always got to, like, they normally go kind of pretty classic with what they do. And I quite like that they're finally doing something a bit different when they've returned to the stripes. And I think the colours in that picture are quite different to what it will actually look like.
Yeah,
and I think the darker, sort of almost navy with the claret is a lot nicer than the brighter blue and red.
It's too bright, I think, on some of the pictures you can see here. But it might look better when it's out.
I'm looking at pictures of it on a mannequin, and it does, like I say, look like a set of pajamas. Like I'm not trying to say this to be tight or anything like that, but it's a case of when you've got El Clasico at 4, but an early night afterwards. You know what I mean? Thank Christ.
Yeah, but when there's a sponsor on there, that might be gone.
Yeah, perhaps, but I don't know. It's just, it looks really long. I don't know how to put it. Like it does just look like a really ridiculous overshirt, almost, which is, I suppose, the risk you're running when you deploy a long sleeve shirt. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this image on a mannequin here, and it doesn't look like a football shirt at all, to be honest. And it's sort of lost that kind of charm that long sleeve shirts do have. I mean, the sleeves themselves are just a pair of blue sleeves stuck on to that weird stripy vest going on. And it's for me, it's a bit of a mess.
I think the thing is, this could be a huge season for Barcelona.
Exactly.
Yes.
They've got a lot of incredible players coming through. Obviously, Lamine Yamal just crazy, but this kit could end up being like a really iconic hit in years to come. So it's kind of a shame that they haven't executed it as well as they could have. But then again, we could be looking back at this kit in 20 years and thinking, like, wow, this Barcelona kit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Whenever clubs try something different, immediately everyone goes, "What the hell is that?" I remember the Spurs shirt, 2018-19, the third one that they won that semi-final in. The like green one. When it came out, I thought, what on earth are they doing? But it's certainly aged well, I think, that one. Obviously, it being iconic was obviously adding a lot to it. But even before that semi-final, I remember being turned completely around on it and thinking, fair play, that's actually quite cool.
Yeah. I feel like moments create kits as well.
Yeah,
definitely. Absolutely.
And I think Barcelona have got a lot of potential to have a lot of very big moments in that kit. So.
Yeah. Okay, Ed, what kit have you got?
I'm looking at all three of Liverpool's league kits for next season. They're all beautiful, but I think the third kit is my favourite. We were just talking about the Adidas logo. This one features the retro design that Rudy's got on his
thank God,
his Celtic kit, and I just think it's beautiful. They've returned to the standard chartered sponsor, which they used to have, which looks really clean. This is obviously the first season that they've got Adidas
for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan. The third kit's given me kind of retro nostalgia
Mm.
vibes. It looks really good.
The color is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. That's what makes that third shirt completely.
Mm.
But I just think Liverpool and Adidas, it had to come back eventually.
Yeah, definitely.
There
A
was
long
some
time coming.
classic
The
Liverpool
badge
Adidas
as well.
shirts.
It's got the retro badge.
Yes, yeah,
It's-
that's something I did in my short. Yeah, it's got the
It's
retro
ace.
badge. Yeah,
No,
it's
I'm
really
I'm jealous.
nice.
All I'll say is I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's a
I-
shame
I'm
it's
a
a
huge
Liverpool
fan.
kit.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of that. It's a lovely color, and like you say, the logo does just really add to it. I love the stripes on the top of the shoulders as well. I mean, it's just it's a lovely kit. I like that home kit as well.
Yeah,
It's a little bit
It does the job,
simplistic.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them. Just the short back and sides does the
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
You know, rock up 90 minutes,
Yeah.
off we go. But I've just seen an image of Mo Salah wearing it with long sleeves, and it's just another example of long
Yeah.
sleeves making
Yeah.
that shirt a little bit better. The boring shirts, if you stick some more sleeve on them, just takes them to that next
Some more
level.
sleeve.
Just stick some more sleeve on it, and it does. It's a nice shirt. It's safe, like you said. It's very
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank God it's not Warrior.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
yes.
some
Oh,
rotten.
Oh my
Jesus.
word.
New Balance was okay,
Yeah.
I think, but Warrior was like the
terrible.
doldrums. It was when Liverpool were pretty bad as well.
Yeah.
Banner era.
Whew. I remember a couple. There was one with like it was mostly white and had a bit of purple on, had a bit of orange on, and like those colours could work.
Was that from the
But it
season
was-
when they almost won the league?
Might have been. It might have been 13,
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
But my God, that was awful.
Yeah, there's been some bad
were
ones.
very
It's nice, as much as it's Liverpool. It's nice. It's nice to see them back to having some quality kits. To be honest, like that home kit, I look at it and I think Gerrard because it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like the old
Yeah.
sort of kits you would like with a standard chartered on as well.
I just think they've gone 3 for 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is very
Yeah.
rare these days.
Yeah,
When
it's
kits
the best.
work together as well, I really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all very similar, aren't they? It's just
Yeah,
a different
in a good
color
way.
essentially, but I think it works well.
They've kept
Yeah.
it simple. That's the best bit because Liverpool like to experiment with just the odd accent of colour. They try and bring
Yeah.
some yellow or some of that sort of weird greeny, sort of pearly colour
Yeah,
alongside. Sometimes it works, but I think the yellow has just flopped on so many occasions in the past.
Yeah.
And they've kept it red and white, and it's all right.
Yeah.
It just does the job.
Yeah.
What this does is it gives them a lot of room to do something next year.
Yes.
It's a lot more
Yeah,
interesting. I
absolutely.
think
I mean-
you have to have that balance between simplicity between the years. I think they can do a lot with it next year potentially.
And also think about the players that are going to be wearing this next season.
Oh yeah.
They get Verts, Frimpong, Kirke's coming in as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
But even without that, they've been fantastic this year. They
Exactly.
could be winning the league in it
It's going
potentially.
to be frightening next season, Liverpool.
Yeah, they'll bring out a banger of a kit next year, I think, when they go and make it 21 league titles as well. They'll have to go all out for that, which will be
Yeah.
so painful to watch
That's true.
unfold. But it will give us a really good kit, so there is a bright side to that.
Okay.
Perfect.
As for mine, I've been looking at the new Inter kit. I don't know if it's actually out or if this is the leaked look at it.
It is leaked.
It's
It is
leaked.
leaked at the moment.
Well, I don't know. I love it. I really like especially because obviously you've got the dark blue of Inter with the stripes, but they've like accented it with a lighter blue, which is not something that they usually do. Like the Inter badge is in a lighter blue color, which I actually really like.
Are we looking at the same kit here, the home kit?
Yeah.
Mate, that is hideous.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
disgusting.
This is what we need.
I'm with
Really?
Rudy on
This is
this
what
one,
we
I'll be
need.
honest.
That's a vile kit. I mean,
Really?
what's going on there?
What with the
It's-
stripes.
It looks awful.
The stripes are like, but it gives a bit to it because usually an Inter kit is just like
Yeah.
black and
It's
blue
like you've bought an
stripes.
Inter candle and just lit it. I mean, look at that. It's shocking. I don't.
It
I
gives,
don't
it gives something to the kit, and you got two colors in the stripes, like very subtly. I think I think it looks nice.
It's like, you can punch someone in the face. A black eye gives something to the face. You know what I mean? But it's like that's just wonky. It's tacky. I don't like I don't mind how they kept it consistent with the kit provider. That lighter blue for the badge and the sponsor as well. That's quite nice, but it's something that really should be on an away shirt, I would say. And instead
Yeah,
just
I
keep
take
the
your
home
point.
shirt nice and simple. That looks like a third shirt to me. If
Yeah.
it wasn't too similar.
I can imagine the Inter Milan fans aren't
Yeah,
over the
it's
moon
a
with this,
bit.
but looking
yeah.
at it from a neutral perspective, I
Yeah.
quite like it.
I can see Chanaloglu in it. I don't know what it is. There's a few players that do fit that shirt quite well,
Yeah.
but I really disagree. I think that's a horror show of a shirt from Inter.
I do
personally.
agree in terms. I think it's a nice shirt, but it probably should have been like the away kit format.
Yeah. It could have worked with a different color scheme, but I just think that blue and black it looks like one of them sort of artificial fires. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something going on with it there.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan personally.
I don't know. I just think it looks really clean. To be fair, I really like it.
I think seeing the back of it might be something that changes things as well, potentially.
Hang on, I'm trying to find the packet.
Whether it continues the whole way or what. Because what I don't love is the sort of balancing between the blue and the black.
Oh, I've got the back here. Yeah, they continue the stripes
There's a-
going on, and it's nice in cases. I do like it when shirts do that. I hate it when it's just plain on the back, and then there's got loads going on the front. I just think that's really, really unpolished.
I think it depends how you do it. I've seen there are a few that are quite nice. And Atlanta United in MLS, I don't expect any of you guys to have a clue what I'm talking about.
I think I know which one you mean. Is it black on the back?
Yeah.
That's quite nice actually.
Yeah, I quite liked that one. And the stripes were just sort of at the bottom.
Yeah,
It was almost a box for the name and number, but it went the whole way up. And I thought that worked quite well, but there are quite a few where it just doesn't work at all.
Yeah, no, this Interkit does continue the stripes down the back. It looks a lot nicer from the back, to be honest. It's more simplistic.
Really?
Yeah, behave. And it's
He always says that.
it's thinner lines than the usual Interkit I've noticed as well. So that's an interesting take on it as well.
It looks like from my angle, it looks like an Atalanta kit a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
They've got the thinner stripes. So.
I can see that.
I think it's very adventurous. A lot of people probably aren't going to like it, but I do.
There's half of the table.
Don't worry, I'm with you. I quite like
that's
it.
all right. That's all right. But yeah, that's Inter.
Well, that just about concludes everything that we've had to talk about on the first episode of the PlayStyles podcast. If you enjoyed what you've just watched or listened to, then you can please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our relative social medias as well. Make sure to check out the PlayStyles website at playstyles.co.uk. All the relevant links will be in the description. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
See you.
See you all, guys.